It's time for Murphy, Sam, and Jody. After the show and earlier today, it was all about weird fears. You know, I mean, I guess weird fears and phobias, are those considered the same things, or are the weird fears kind of the exaggerated versions, you think?
I think the weird fears are more exaggerated.
Yeah. I'm sure that anything can be classified, but there was one of the Facebook posts that mentioned shipwrecks, made me think back to being a kid. And I've always, I don't know what, whenever I've seen footage from underseas with those little underwater cameras and all that, that has always freaked me out. And then they found the Titanic. I don't remember when they found the Titanic. Late 80s, early 90s, something like that. Yeah. You know, and so they went and they got video, and then when the first special came out showing the cameras and where it went, it's just freaky.
Yeah, what is it? A double?
The outdoor, or when they show like there's the ship laying on the bottom, that doesn't get me. But when they take the cameras inside, I just start freaking because it's like, this dude's going to get trapped in here. I hope he knows how to get out. Yeah. Did he leave breadcrumbs?
So is it like a double whammy because it's underwater and it's also encapsulated?
And it's on its side or upside down.
It's got to be the double whammy. And you're kind of claustrophobic.
Yeah, I am.
Murphy.
But you know, that I think it's creepy. So I don't know that it's kind of the same thing with.
That's funny because I think that's kind of cool.
Like, you know, some worn down homes and places like that. You know, some people freak out being anywhere near that day or night.
Sure.
You know, for me, that's kind of stuff has only been weirder at nighttime. But the underwater stuff, I think it's not just claustrophobia. It's a creepy. It looks weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're going to see. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's you're waiting for something creepy to jump out when the camera comes around the corner, or there's a skeleton sitting over there. Or something like that. But
I don't know. I don't get that one. But I know that that's common. Like, we've learned so much from our Facebook page. Someone also, Erica, said mascots. And I thought that's interesting. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of them are scary just because they don't look so great.
Yeah. But I think that's the stuffed animal factor, you know?
I love stuffed animals.
But, you know, some people freak out about that.
Dolls.
Yeah, dolls are the same thing.
That's not really a weird fear, but a lot of people have a fear of dolls. It's the eyes. My friend Jodi.
Yes,
okay, when we used to take...
following eyes?
No, just eyes. We would... Okay, me and Jodi would take our daughters... We haven't done it in a long time, COVID-19, but like antiquing and things like that and estate sailing and stuff like that. And we went into the store once, and Phoebe and I are looking at vinyl, and I hear Jodi make a gasp, and I go over there, and she's trying to walk down this aisle, and there's a cabinet with glass on the front, and there's nothing but dolls, like old dolls with their eyes, you know, just looking.
Staring through your soul.
And she was like, I can't go down this aisle. She couldn't do it.
You know, I bet you part of that is instinctive. That probably goes way, 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 way back in our lineage. That, you know, eyes are a form of contact, and you think that you're being watched.
They say also there's something about the human face. That's why the clown thing is a deal. I read it once, and I'm probably not going to articulate it well here, but something about a face that is, you know, normally friendly, or just people's faces are lovely, and it's what you look at. But for it to be a little off and a little not human is freaky. Too freaky.
I can see that too.
So the clown thing is a deal.
But you think about anything with eyes looking at you is you know, some people have issues with pets. Taxidermy. That absolutely. I guarantee you the eyes are it's not the fact that it actually was a living creature at some point.
No, and I don't like the way eyes. They pose them. You know? Taxidermy's fine by me. I don't love it. But the way they're posed just kills me.
Yeah, I mean, so people that I've known that have freaked, because I never really freaked out around taxidermy. It certainly gets my attention, but for people that have a genuine fear of that, it's the looking. So you're right, Jodi. It's all about anything with eyes pointing back and looking.
It can be for people, yeah. It's about expectation.
I don't know if you remember the movie. I think it was the Wax Museum or whatever with Vincent Price.
I don't know that movie.
That kind of is the one that put it in my head to not really care for dolls and stuff, because in that movie, I believe it was, you know, he killed the people or knocked them out, and then he dipped them in wax and put them in the museum. And so it's like, oh, they're so realistic.
That's because it was
funny. Well, I mean,
not
it's
funny.
a horror story.
It's not funny.
That's because they're real people inside that wax. And so therefore, if you look at a doll, it's like,
could there be something real in there? That's so funny. Producer Bailey, we have not asked you this question yet. Do you have any weird fears?
Well, I mean, it ties in perfectly with what you're talking about anyway. I don't like statues. Statues are strange. And it's the whole, like...
Really?
Just being close to them, especially if they're bigger than I am, you know?
Made of stone, like a real, legit statue.
Yeah, like...
But not doing anything weird, just being a statue.
They're just standing there, just acting all immobile and everything, looking like they're just about to move.
Oh, of course they're not.
What about like Mount Rushmore?
Well, Mount Rushmore's fine. I mean,
that's just heads.
Cool. Yeah,
but that's larger than life.
Yeah, but you know, every now and then when I see a new statue that just got put up in like a building that I go to all the time, then it's like, okay,
that's
this
funny.
is kind of weird.
I'm gonna tell you what's weird. Years ago, I was in like a Hobby Lobby, and I was walking down the aisle of the garden area section. I think I may have showed you this picture, Murphy. And there was, you know, they have those little statuettes. They're not like actual stone. They're probably plastic of some sort. And they have those for gardens, no, where the gnomes are and the garden flags are. And they had this statue of a little girl sitting there, you know, holding a flower or something, a little girl statue.
Yeah.
And it looked so much like my friend's daughter, Janie. It looked like Janie.
Really?
Taylor's friend.
Yeah.
So much so, I took a picture of it and sent it to her mother. And I said, sit down. This is at Hobby Lobby. And she sent back, oh my God, that's weird. And she agreed that it looked like her child.
Yeah. Or maybe she just said, oh my God, that's weird that you actually thought that.
Maybe.
You'll have to show me that picture.
I don't know where it is. I don't know if I kept it, but it did look like her.
Well, yeah, that's that familiarity thing. Probably all these things are the reason that horror movies and suspense movies work. Because you already have the basic fear, and those movies basically just cater to or exploit those fears.
When I was a little girl, thanks to television, I was terrified that I was going to get sucked into quicksand.
Oh, yeah.
I was, though.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I was, too. I've yet to come across quicksand in my life.
And if I ever did, I'd know to be still.
Yeah. Or grab a limb.
Yeah.
Or wait for the fall guy to come get me.
Well, I don't know that the Bermuda Triangle is a real thing or not, but I can tell you I wouldn't want to fly through it. And I know that there are people say that totally is a falsehood, but
Bailey's on it. Are you on it?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking up everything.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's stuck in my head. What's funny about that, I don't know that anybody's really talked. Maybe the Bermuda Triangle thing was just like overdone for a long time because I don't hear anybody talking about it much anymore. But it's still an area I'm not going to fly. And you know what?
You know what? You're absolutely right. Nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's because everybody's flying around it. I don't know.
Maybe the equipment's better.
I can't speak about that because I know nothing about it. It's not one of those things I would ever Google. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because planes would disappear. And that's
ships.
Right. And ships. And so but like what Sam said, communication was also very different. You know what I mean? You can track anything, anywhere, anytime now.
That's when it was superstitious.
And the forecasting
city, right?
of weather. I mean, look, some of that could have been hurricane related. You never know. I mean, because the forecasts weren't great, whatever years and years ago when the Bermuda Triangle was discussed like that. But I remember that was the whole thing. I guess when something new and scary comes along, there's a Discovery Channel special on it, immediately.
Gosh. Well, I still don't think I have a weird fear, which is interesting. I have a lot of weird nuances. I'm weird, I know, with my... Yeah. I don't like for people to rub their eyebrows the wrong way, but that's not a fear. I just don't like to look at it.
Riding on the interstate next to big vehicles.
That's true. I don't. 18-wheelers freak me when they're near me, but that's because I'm afraid of dying in a car accident.
And the geckos thing.
Not that would be their fault. It's just the fast driving fast where everybody's driving fast.
Yeah.
I respect that that's dangerous. That's all, right?
Sure. Yeah. But the gecko thing, I guess that's really the same thing. It's not a weird fear. It's
I just don't want one on me, touching me. I don't like the way they look. I don't think I have a weird fear.
So then
I'm less weird than you guys.
What defines it as a weird fear? That it's something that you would obsess about or think about?
It's just odd.
If it weren't in front of your face, the thought of it would scare you?
I think it's what defines it as weird is it's not the top 10 fears. Public speaking,
it's
snakes,
not like you're afraid of snakes
typical.
or
It's
spiders.
not typical. It's, oh, really? Let's talk about that. Yeah. When we heard from Summer this morning, it was like, oh, you're afraid of big warehouses that are empty, or anything big that's
Wide
empty.
open spaces.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
That's what I think makes it weird. But more people have an odd, weird fear than not. They just don't usually share it.
I'm going to have to pay attention to that because there's got to be something.
About
I don't
what?
know. Jody's just so logical that, maybe you don't.
No, there's something. We're just not thinking of it. It's something irrational. It hasn't crossed
okay. You're
our
so
heads.
sure that I'm
I know,
irrational.
it's probably come up, and we've just
Anyway.
that's Jody.
Well, we'll continue to, hear from everybody this week about it. It's going to be interesting. Weird fears.